So with all that popping noise that it was making, I thought for sure maybe there was a bird or a squirrel or a leaf or something like that had gotten in there, but nope, it's just that many bugs. Hey there YouTube, welcome to Big Mike Beard Wisdom. So today we've got a pretty busy day. It's gonna be like the anti-mosquito start of the year for me. And basically what we're looking at doing is I'm gonna mow the lawn real quick, try and beef up the lawn and the grass where I can. I'm gonna try and fill in with the topsoil any low spots and depressions that we have. There's some spots where I want to try and knock out some weeds and other things that I think kind of cause like a spawning ground for mosquitoes. And then I picked up these Spartan mosquito stuff and it seems pretty interesting. I haven't fully read through it yet, but I'll go over that in the video. Then I also bought this Black Flag Bug Zapper. And this one, it says to hang up 5 to 7 feet high. So I bought a big old shepherd's hook to hang. And then about 20 feet away from like human activity. So I was able to bust out the good old measuring wheel again. And about 20 feet away would be right where this bush is at. So by going past that bush and going inside of here, which I'm pretty sure this is another area where mosquitoes want to, you know, breeding and stuff like that, just because of the amount of weeds that we get and then how wet it kind of stays. Plus it's nice and shaded. But putting it at about here put us pretty close into this one, fairly close and underneath the maple tree, and on this side of that bush. So this will be about 25 feet from the edge of the sidewalk, which I'm hoping is going to be far enough away, because that does both, I think, attracting as well as zapping of the mosquitoes. So, and then it has like an attractant in it, and I bought a couple refills for the attractant at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see, because right now there are some mosquitoes, but they haven't really started, you know, being super prevalent yet. And I'm kind of hoping that this year we can kind of knock them down a bit. Last year they were really bad, and then I always worry about the boys because I don't want the you know, shadow and bandit getting some sort of tapeworm or something like that, or not tapeworm, heartworm from like a mosquito bite. So anything I could do to help prevent and keep them safe, I'm all about it. But there's a lot of work to do. I'm gonna get to it. Back here, we used to have a big thing of like buckthorn on the corner of the property. And me and the neighbor wound up coming out here and taking it all out one day. And then last year, I put like that Scott's repair stuff that I'll be using, the lawn repair, and basically I put it over here and it came in pretty good. Still a little patchy, but then, you know, the boys dig over here and they pee over here and squirrels are over here, so plenty of stuff messes with it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to weed whack down some of these weeds over here and back there, and then I'll put down that easy seed, because I'm pretty sure with how dense some of this is, it probably holds and keeps it moist and wet. And there's also other weird debris back here. So hopefully knocking this out and getting some grass seed back here will help keep at least, you know, this from being a mosquito breeding ground. All right, so I got this weed whacked down pretty far, and I hope I have enough easy seed to cover all this. But there was also a couple stumps, and what I'm doing is basically taking some of the topsoil and covering the stumps up a little bit. I'm hoping it helps them to break down. So, but I took a chainsaw and trimmed them down pretty close to ground level. So there may be 1/4 inch taller than the ground around it. So I'm hoping throwing a little bit of topsoil around it will help. This one over here was nice because it was already pretty dead. It was easy to bust up with an axe. So really a lot of this is going to be mixing in topsoil around, trying to fill in the holes. So, but these other ones, I'm going to try and put some topsoil around it, bevel it out a little bit. That way if you roll over it with a lawnmower, you don't wind up hitting it and striking anything. So that's it for the wheelbarrow and the shovel. Basically what I did was I loaded the topsoil into it, and then I looked for some of the depression areas that we had. So this was a low spot that I kind of filled in last year, and it's still a little bit low. So I added a little bit more topsoil to it, and then basically used the backside of a rake to kind of semi-level it. And as you can see, it also brings out some of the grass underneath. That way hopefully you don't have to regrow the grass in the area while still filling in the hole. Some of the other areas though, like this one here, I haven't dealt with yet. So basically you just kind of drag your rake back and forth across it, and it'll help push the dirt into the low areas. By scraping it off the top area, like the high areas. And I do kind of want to open the center up just a little bit. That way some of the grass comes out. Because I can hit this with some easy seed, but I'd almost rather just have the grass that was already right there just pop through. So this will help this area and this little depression kind of fill in a little bit. It won't be perfect, but maybe it'll be perfect next year when I do the same thing. So little improvements every year, hopefully. And you can see how deep that section is, because as it glides along, it's not even touching that dirt. And then this is more than likely either due to like a utility getting laid down here. Otherwise, this might be from lawn tractor always mowing down this backside. Not necessarily my lawn tractor. Could have been the previous owners. And right over doesn't even touch that. Must be a pretty good hole. I think that's the one that's at least 2 knuckles deep. So try and bring the grass back up. Through. Then knock it back down. Okay. This over here, I really kind of opened up. So I pulled all of that out of here. It's a lot of like vining stuff. So we're gonna open up this, or I've already opened the Black Flag Bug Zapper. And basically, it looks pretty simple. It's got a little ring up here, and then just a short cord. So if you're expecting a little bit extra room, you're definitely gonna need an extension cord that reaches all the way to the site that you're gonna have it hanging at. And then it does recommend setting this up 5 to 7 feet in the air and about 20 feet away from things, or from where you're gonna be, and not mounting directly to a building. Otherwise, I've never had a bug zapper before. Looks pretty simple. Hopefully she'll work. And then it does come with this lure, which you can also buy extra ones, and I did, because these should last about 30 days. It also says that it should be okay in like light rain, but if there's severe weather, to take it down. Alright, so I got the extension cord running through here. I twirled it around the pole because it's fancy. And then I just used some electrical tape to help seal up this connection, just to make sure it doesn't get any water inside of it. And then just use a little bit of electrical tape to hold the cord up here. I'm hoping having the cord up here will help with any kind of like movement issues that this might have. It's just hanging on this. It's about 6 feet in the air, and you can see it's already starting to glow. No zaps yet though. Alright, so let's talk about this Spartan Mosquito do-it-yourself mosquito killer kit. And it seems pretty simple. So it seems like in each package you've got 2 tubes with a temporary cap. You've got some hooks. They go into the more permanent cap once everything's mixed up. And then this is what it hangs from once you put the hook in. And then you want to put it 80 feet away from where you're gonna have like human activity. And 80 feet away would basically be the back side of my property line. So it's gonna be a pretty good ways away. And they're supposed to last 30 days, and 4 tubes will treat an acre. So we're about just a half an acre, or maybe less, I don't remember. But I'm going to put 1 tube at each corner of the rear property, and all I need to do is just add some warm water to this, and we'll see how it goes. I've got another box because I figure this is the beginning of June, and then this will last through July into August. So it'll be interesting to see if it makes a big difference. And if it does, then I may want to pick it up some more. Alright, so I got that hanging up. There's this old utility pole that's snapped down here. That's hanging. But it's got like a climbing hook. It's probably about 5.5 in the air. So it's hanging there. And the other one, you can just barely see it. It's up in the tree over there. And I'm kind of hoping that having removed all that extra vegetation that was around there will help make that one unneeded. But whereas that other one's hanging at about 5.5 feet, I would say this one's closer to almost 7 feet. But it's also higher up in the vegetation, so I'm kind of hoping it does pretty good. So next on deck is using some of this Scotch thicker lawn, and the big reason for this is that I'm trying to find ways to help build up the lawn and to kind of combat weeds. And I'm hoping that having, you know, a little bit better lawn will help get rid of weeds that may cause, you know, water to pool or something like that, or may cause extra you know, places for mosquitoes to hide. But the other thing is I'm hoping having like a more stable lawn might help with like the water going away. So hopefully like the grass will drink the water up faster, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, this is pretty much a lot like the other stuff. So on the back of the package you've got what you need to do, the setting for your spreader, and then they recommend watering it in. I definitely recommend watering it in because it does have a little bit of a funky smell. So it's one of those things where if you can get that to go into the soil as opposed to hanging out up top, especially if you have dogs, because last thing I want is the boys to come in kind of smelling like that. And then real quick, so each of these 3 bags will cover 4,000 square feet. So what I'll be doing is this 3,690 and 525, and then the rear section's a little bit over 7,000 700. So I'll do one bag for this one and that one, and then the remaining 2 bags will go here in the like the little area in front of the sidewalk and in the backyard. So the backyard is probably going to get an interesting mix. It may not be as even, but hopefully everything will work out in the end. We're finally to the last steps, and basically this is just the Scott's Easy Seed, and I've filled in any kind of bare dirt. That way hopefully we get a little bit of stuff growing in, and especially back here where all those weeds were, I'm hoping this winds up growing in pretty good. All that stuff now is just watering it, and I'll hopefully be all done with all this anti-mosquito stuff. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll check you next time. So I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it almost sounds like, I don't know if that's a zapping noise. But holy crap, what the hell is that? Is that bugs? Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna say this thing works really, really good. Now, I wouldn't say they're all mosquitoes. I don't know what some of these are, but wow, this is like maybe 24 hours this thing's been up. That's crazy.